Hello, peoples. Yes, I'm outside. I'm doing the arts and craft. I know sometimes I be finding myself somewhat in the middle, kind of doing some other things, and so you find me in my little office space. Yes, my office space. So anyway, I'm working on the 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 handmade. Well, it's not a gourd because it's arts and crafts. So I did make some other ones. They're not. They're away. I'm not gonna get up from my little chit chat area to go get it, but you will see what I'm doing right now. So I'm kind of shaping one thing or the other. So I'm outside just having the pleasure. The birds are not really chirping, but the music is on. We have music playing in the background. So if you're yeah, hopefully it's not too loud while I'm trying to speak. But I was like, yeah, so let me, one of the things that I had company to, and I was speaking to them about, why I had kind of separated some things because I wanted each entity to have its own identity as it related to the things that we were doing. And so anyway, I'm just kind of I know that I may have had. See, I'm trying to put it together. I know. Oh, you can see it. I know that readily I had some kind of conversation with people in regards to. I said I was like, "Oh, we kinging, huh?" But that conversation of kinging is relative to Alex Haley. I know that some of us are familiar with Alex Haley through the movie Roots and Queen. Okay, so when you see this movie, you'll see. I just want you to see it for yourself, but you will see um, Alex Haley in Roots. You will see where um, the some scope of some war. I would say captivity. Okay, the captivity because there was a time of war. The issue with some things when people are associating with a slave or slavery is that they're associating something with something. So I was someplace, I don't know exactly where I read. Oh, actually, I was at the museum and they were talking about Abraham Lincoln and that conversation of keeping um, the people enslaved, okay, or that kind of tone about it, okay. So going to the movie Roots, we see where there was a beginning and they had the union of man and this, that, and the other. Then we get to Queen, and then it talks about here it is a white man and a black man, and yet here it is his daughter, their daughter, because at that point it's a shared relationship because you didn't know which one was which. But then the thing was is that readily we were in the assumption that it was a black woman, okay, but it was really a white woman. So that conversation now became this mixed daughter, and here it is, her father, and then her spouse. Okay, so now they begin to have kids. So it went into a queen because it was trying to imply it was a queen of here it is, their offsprings, but then also a control factor that was relative to here it is him being someone of a darker complexion. And then that story, now that story all by itself has a lot of details. I'm not going there. I'm trying to get to Chris Wessling and hear this, her conversation about random. Okay, so what it was is that now, when I'm saying, "Oh, you kinging," because that KN that went somewhere else, but oh, you kinging now, right? So that means that men have taken on approach to be with another woman, or here it is, a woman decided that she wanted to be with another man of another race, okay? Because we already know that the kids turns a different color, okay? Now, when we begin to look at resources or look at, well, where's the help and all that other kind of stuff, that will also be including civil rights, okay? Like Martin Luther King. Now there is a white man called Martin Luther that come out of the Protestant and also the Catholic stuff, okay? So now we're looking at religion when we look at Martin Luther King. Yes, Martin Luther King Jr. Matter of fact, I didn't even know that his father's name was Martin Luther King Sr. I mean Senior. Anyway, so when you look at that, you know his speech was talking about white girls and little black boys, okay, and then how they would all be together. And now we're looking at a little M. Till story, okay. Okay, well they said that they just let. So anyway, we had some people who I had went to this museum and they was like, "Oh, here this through slavery, this." So these people are retelling this story in such a way to talk about saving, but they retelling the story where they had come with look being lighter skinned to come to some agreement that black people were enslaved, and that was mentally, okay, because now we go anyway this the white man, and I kind of explained here it is the hierarchy. If you look at a family tree and you start looking at these different branches, well the thing is that those kids grow up. I don't care whatever it was, if you want to say man or woman, they grow up. And even if they decide that they said that, oh, they want to know more about their culture, they already knowing that they're going to go learn something, and yet they want to be, they're going someplace and learning something, and then they in turn is going to take it back to wherever they come from, or here it is that language or that conversation as if they're moderating or becoming agents to something, okay. But there's something that they learned that they able to go and take back to, here it is, wherever they came from, to their family, to their this. They learned how to do an arts and craft project. They learned how to dance and learn. So I said, this is what I had to say. I said, and no, it don't have anything to do with education or things that you learn on your own, because I had a friend and he said that he went to go a place and they didn't want to teach him whatever it was that they were doing. And he's a black guy and he was in a white environment with white men, and they didn't want to teach him what he needed to know to be successful at his job, okay. So now we're also given to talk about arts and culture and all the food and all that kind of stuff, that we're giving this information to these people, and then in turn they want to use those things on us. And so I had a conversation about culture, okay. So then they want to use these things on us. So anyway, Queen in that movie, because the thing is it could have been the other way around, but that's the thing. When you look at, yes, we're made people, meaning black people are made people, honey, don't get it twisted. But with that story, now they want to imply that it was a white woman coming from, here it is, the offspring of white people, and yet she is the mother of these groups of people, or the groups of color kind. And then she is in return married to her, or with her, or having a child by her mixed, or her mate. Now this is the thing, you never go, once you go black you never go back. Well, what that is saying was, this is where you have white people who are saying that they're black, okay, because they're saying that they've been mixed. And they could go with somebody who's the same color, another color, or this, that, and the other. Chris Wrestling was telling us this. And the thing is that they're not going to be as dark as the first relationship, even though they may be saying that they're mixed with black or something like that. You understand? So now we have this conversation, a situation where you have these people, and do you think that they, yes, honey, because everybody be all grouped and linked up together when they want to start talking about their color. Now you're talking about an organ. So kinging is when somebody want to say that they want to have somebody else rule over them in such a way. I was reading somebody's theme or anthem, and they were talking about how they didn't want the wood. And I said, well, boy, that wood goes in different colors. But most of your common wood, if you're not talking about like a 2x4, but even then, the bark of that is one color. Because we could go around and around with this black and brown, and here it is, the bark, and then all in the inside and all that kind of stuff with these people. Boy, I tell you the truth, this stuff is for real. Um, but the thing was is that we had a